So prior to seeing Dr. Lay, the back pain I was experiencing was relatively debilitating, and it came on very quickly. And it was within a day that I realized I needed to talk to somebody and take care of it. So that same day I went and saw Dr. Lay, and then within at least a week or two, I was able to, it was back to normal again. And any other little flare-ups I had, I was able to manage based on the things Dr. Lay had taught me. If I were to recommend Dr. Lay, I think the first thing I would say is the comfort level that you have when you first meet her. And it's amazing because you continue to get more and more comfortable with her as you get to know her, and the more treatments that you share with her. That would be one of the first things. And it's also a huge learning experience with Dr. Lay. So I think those are the top two things I would talk about: comfort and the learning experience. One of the things Dr. Lay taught me in terms of connecting the mind and body together, in terms of how what you think and what you feel can manifest physically, is that a lot of things I was overlooking as daily stresses that I just took for granted, that I just got to do this and I got to just deal with it, were actually things that were beginning to manifest themselves. And then finally sort of hit a breaking point where I finally had to call somebody and get some help. So learning that was pretty huge because it allowed me to help myself maintain physical health by just managing and maintaining my mental stress and realizing when I started to react to it physically. The way I would explain the mind-body connection is that the way you think, the way you feel on a daily basis, as repetitive as it is, it also is reflected in your physical body. When you're sad, your face goes, you frown, or your mouth goes down. When you smile, you're happy and you feel good. When you're tired, you slump over. All those things start manifesting over the years in repetitive stress, and the way you work, the way you sit at your desk, the way you feel when you get a certain email or a certain phone call. You react to those things physically. They're emotions that you react to. And over time, it starts wearing on your body unless you realize that you can alter your thoughts and the way you react to things, thereby ensuring they don't manifest physically in a debilitating way. My initial intake with Dr. Lay was a really interesting experience because I've always felt like I was a little imbalanced, particularly on my left side, and she was doing certain tests that started to become very obvious that was indeed the case, with some vibrational tools, taking blood pressure, that sort of thing. And when I got the results in the end, it was one of those things where it's things you always knew, but no one had ever told you outside of yourself. And so there was a little bit of it was jarring for me. And I even got tears in my eyes because it was so like, wow, I've been right all this time. There is this imbalance, and it was really powerful, actually. The typical treatment would be when I would come see Dr. Lay is sit down and give her any updates that had happened since our last visit. Then she would have me lay down on her table, and whether it was on my belly or on my back, and she would choose a spot which she would then start working. Sometimes it would be in the shoulder area, sometimes it would be in the feet, the hands, the arms, and even on the upper back at times. And from there, she would also begin asking me questions based on some of the things I had introduced the conversation with when I first came in the office. And from there, the conversation would grow to the point where I would begin expressing things that I didn't realize were so on top of mind. And then the treatment would start to get a little more painful, and that's when we were connecting. But after the fact, it was really amazing how great I felt and what a release it really was to be able to verbalize the emotions I had been experiencing and the stress, as well as the release physically. She had just made observations about the imbalance between my left side and my right side. She also made the observation, and we had just met, I think, once at this point, and upon giving me the results of the intake, that is, and she had told me how I'm very much I'm a doer, and I like to get things done, and if I'm getting things done, I plow through them and I get them done. And over time, you start putting up your muscles start acting in ways just so that you can get things done. So you can get very stiff and very locked up, and your creative side versus your emotional side can get out of balance because your emotional side is not being given enough resources, or your creative side isn't getting enough resources because you just want to do and do and do. So this imbalance began to happen, and that was essentially what she told me.
Cool.
For me personally, my process wasn't difficult in healing. I was very open to everything Dr. Lay had to share with me. I was really excited with everything she had to share with me because, like I had said, I'd realized I was always looking for someone like her in the medical field that made this mind-body connection. And she's so insightful. It was very powerful being able to sit with her and have her give me some great observations about some of the things I was dealing with, and also allowing me to come to terms and come up with my own answers as to how to deal with those situations that were creating stress for me. So I was so open to those ideas that she shared that I think that's why I healed so quickly. And I have my moments even now, since I've stopped seeing her, that I slip back into my old ways, but I'll never forget what she taught me, and I often use exactly what she says to help me. And it makes it's amazing what a difference it makes when you feel your body release just about because you had a thought in order to make it do so.